On your whiteboard, please tell me, what are the two terms for Mongolian China? What are the two terms for Mongol China? Good. No, you can't call it Mongolia now. What is it, Ben?
The Yuan dynasty and the Great Khanate.
On your whiteboard, please tell me, what do we call the Mongolian Persia? By the way, I do have candy for you. Happy Halloween. Still have a test tomorrow. You are more than welcome to take 2 pieces. However, don't you dare leave trash in my room. Is that fair? You're wrong on your board. I got a lot of wrong answers. Persia! Persia! What is it, Aiden? Here, Icon of Persia. Grab them quick, because I'm not going to stand around and wait. What do we call Mongolian Russia? What do we call Mongolian Russia? So far, only one thank you. Don't worry, I'm judging all of you.
Elite.
Welcome, Miss Sandy.
What did you just say?
Are we allowed to eat these right now?
Yes, just don't leave the trash in my classroom. What is it, Jesse? Golden horn. On your whiteboard, please tell me what are they importing from Persia? What are the Mongols importing from Persia? Because they can't do it themselves. What? Kamikaze.
Oh, Miss Bennett.
What?
For the icon of Changadi, why does it say it's also
It's
East
East Persia, India. On your whiteboard, please tell me they're getting bureaucrats. We still have a test tomorrow. Just saying. On your whiteboard, who is the famous ruler of the Yuan dynasty? Good. Who is it? Garrett.
Kublai Khan.
Kublai Khan. Who is the famous traveler that sees Kublai Khan? Who meets Kublai Khan? Do not leave trash in my classroom. Happy Halloween, guys.
Thank you.
Marco.
Good. Who is it? Avery. Marco Polo. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Who is going to facilitate the largest cross-cultural communication in the history of the world? Good, I got 1, 2, 3. Claire, who is it? Mongols. On your whiteboard, please tell me why do the Mongols even bother with government? What do they actually really want? What is their real focus when they start governments, which they're terrible at? Sadie. Money. On your whiteboard, please tell me what commonality between the fall of Mongolian Persia and the Yuan dynasty is there? What is the commonality between the two? No. I don't have a great answer. You're not wrong. Paper currency. That's my girl. Paper currency is really what kind of screws them over. Remember, in Persia, they don't have paper currency, but they spend all the money, so they're like, yeah, paper currency. And
Is that it?
And then in China, they overspend the bullion, correct? So they overspend the bullion, which backs up the currency, and that's how we have that. All right, here we go. We are going to start in the Americas, so I would start the heading of the Americas, please. Okay, so here we go. Now, you shouldn't have to write this down because it should be very obvious at this point. The Americas are still not in contact with anyone else, correct? That happens in 4, we're in 3. However, we are starting to see that people are flirting with the Americas. We're seeing Scandinavians are floating around Newfoundland, but they're not interacting with anyone. And then we start seeing Asians are starting to flirt with Australia. Okay? So we're starting to see this. Now, just listen. The Toltecs are going to actually write this down. The Toltecs lay the foundation for the Mexica, who are the foundation for the Aztecs. So the Toltecs lay the foundation for the Mexica, who are the foundation for the Aztecs. So, who are the Mexica? Mexica are pre-empire. Empire is Aztecs. Do we understand that? Hello? Alright, so who are the Mexica? First of all, they start off as migratory. They're migratory, not nomadic. What is the difference between migratory versus nomadic? What are nomads following? Garrett. Animals, large herd animals that they can kill pretty effectively. Guess what there's none of in central Mexico?
Herd animals.
Not large herd animals. There's animals, people. It's not like barren place. Okay, but they don't have large herd animals. So we call them migratory because they're moving around looking for reliable food sources. You do need to know they love kidnapping women. They love kidnapping women, and they use this to create marriage alliances. Yeah, so if Macy's future husband, who's a Mexican, is going to kidnap her, hold her hostage, probably rape her, and say, we'll give her back to you if you pay me. There you go, Macy. What a guy. What a guy. This is happening all over the place. This is how they expand control. It's actually a pretty common thing in the Americas to capture your wife. As you know, she's out there in the field doing laundry, and you just like slug her over the head, and you just drag her back. And it's kind of common. The Incas are going to have a similar process of doing it as well. What do you got? Marriage alliances. That's how they create marriage alliances. Yep. Ah, what dreams are made of, friends. All right, then they build. The Mexicans are going to build T-City. Okay, T-City. You need to write it out. Do not write T-City. I can say T-City, but you need to write out the full answer. Who can tell me, how did they choose the location of T-City, Kate? No. Katie.
Isn't it like elevated?
No. Why? How did they choose that spot? Why did they go and find that terrible spot? Know what I mean?
They're gods.
Okay, how?
Their gods are like, hey, this what you're gonna find it was an eagle with on a cactus with a snake in its mouth.
Perfect. So they go around looking for it. Now, does it have advantages? Yes. Your book says that. It is in the middle of a swamp. Yeah. So yeah, it's in the middle of a swamp. However, the reason why they picked it is because it had a cactus with an eagle on it with a snake in its mouth, and that's what the god said would be the perfect location.
Wait, so if the nomads follow the herds, what does it mean when you migrate?
Migrate, you're trying to find food sources.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just finding food sources.
They don't farm.
Not really. No, because they're migrating. Because they can't find any good farmland because all the good farmland's been taken. So, we're going to create Chinapas. Now, what are Chinapas? Come on, people. Don't make this hard. It has to be Vendela. Yeah, they're floating gardens in order to maximize the amount of guarding they can do. We actually built a bunch of buildings on them as well, which is hella impressive. All right. They are also going to start. Now, the Aztec Empire. Now, please understand, the Mexica and the Aztecs are the same people. But once they go from just having a civilization to becoming an empire, we call them Aztecs. Does that make sense? However, on your AP exam, if you just reference everyone as Aztecs, it works. If you also reference everyone as Mexica, it works. But if you want to know the difference, that's the difference of the two. Is that fair? Okay. You need to know that the Aztecs are going to depend on a tributary system. Who can tell me what is a tributary system, Jesse?
It's where when you like conquer other areas and make them pay to like keep some
Yeah, to keep some sovereignty, some autonomy. So if you want to have your own government, you're going to pay some money. You do need to know that Montezuma the First is going to be the first important ruler of the Aztecs. He's going to conquer the most territory. It's actually easy to remember because if you remember, Montezuma is the first important ruler. Montezuma the Second is the...
Second. Most second.
No, he's the last.
Oh.
He's the last. He gets executed by the...
Incas.
Spanish.
Okay. If you've ever been to Mexico, they tell you don't drink the water. Yes? Because they don't purify it as much as we do. And if you get really sick in Mexico, they call it Montezuma's revenge. It's to punish all the white people who show up to Mexico.
you can't drink the water there, right?
Yeah, because it has parasites and stuff that we're not used to, and it'll give you nasty. You'll get super, super sick.
They drink it.
Yeah, because they're used to it. Yeah, they have a tolerance for it. All right, Mexican society. You need to know. Don't write Genghis Khan on top of it. It goes Aztec emperor. Then your priests, who are highly influential to the emperor. Then you have warriors, merchants, peasants, and slaves. Is this order very confusing to you? Is it unexpected? No. And it shouldn't be. But it goes emperor, priest, who are highly influential to the emperor. Then you have warriors, merchants, peasants, and then slaves. Now, the slaves, you do need to know that they're local people. They're not imported from somewhere else. They're not brought. They are, so for instance, if your parents don't love you anymore, they can sell you as a slave. How many of you would have been sold for slaves? I would have, oh, absolutely. 15 was a dark year. God, my mother hates me. Hated me. Ish. Yeah. Okay, so slaves are local, or they're other soldiers that they're fighting with. Okay, so that's your Aztecs, for sure. Now, for your women, the Aztecs are patriarchal. I don't think anyone's surprised, correct? Men are in power. However, women are highly respected for the ability for childbirth, okay? If a woman dies in childbirth, she's given the burial of a warrior. I would write that down because that's pretty unique. Maggie, what do you need, my love?
What does it say on the
Slaves are local Aztecs or other soldiers.
bottom? What does it say about
Women who die in childbirth are treated like warriors who died in battle. Women who die in childbirth are treated like warriors. Okay, so, I mean, you see that there is a little bit of respect for them. Okay, priests, you shouldn't have to write down anything, really. It should make logical sense that they're the ones doing all the omens. We already know that they're the most influential for the emperor. They hang out with the emperor all the damn time. They're the ones doing all the prayers, the omens. They're actually doing the planting schedule. They're the ones who tell everyone when to plant stuff. So not only are they in charge of the religion, but also the agricultural. If you want to write something down, that's what I would write. All right, so cultivation. You need to know that we have communal groups called capuli. You need to know that we have communal groups called capuli, and they are going to be work obligations to work on aristocratic lands. So it's kind of like communism to a degree. You don't own your own land, you work on someone else's, or kind of like a little bit of a feudalistic. Okay, so capuli is when you are forced to work on a rich person's land. We already talked about the slave class, so you shouldn't have to write anything down. However, they're all local Aztec people. So could you imagine is that one day your mom comes home from the slave market and she's like, oh, we got a new slave today. And it's like your best friend from school. Oh man, I really pissed off my mom last night. She told me I was a slave. Do you want me to make your breakfast? You don't think that'd be strange? That'd be pretty strange. What?
What's a capuli again?
Capuli, they are communal groups. They work on the aristocrats' land. All right. Mexican gods. Mexican gods, not Mexican. You need to know H God only. That's the one that you really need to know. Okay, this is H God. You can ask Ren. He'll say it for you. Not a shot in hell. I'm going to try. H God. Go ahead, Jesse. Let's hear it. Yeah, sounds good to me. Aiden.
So the slaves, could they buy their freedom? Or were they just slaves?
I don't know. They'd probably be able to buy out their own freedom. Because even in the Americas, you can buy your own freedom for a long time. Until we really figured out this whole like cotton gin thing. And then we're like, nah, you can't buy your freedom. We can make more money off of you. Garrett.
These priests read omens. You said they didn't have a written.
No, they do omens, not write them. They do omens. Like they read, like omens are like tarot cards. They kind of make predictions. It's an omen. So you got.
Do you want us to write the some blood?
No, I mean he's a blood sacrifice. The only thing you're right. I should have told you why you need to know. He's blood sacrifice. He's the sun god. What is blood sacrifices, Payne?
You kill a virgin?
No. It doesn't have to be a virgin. It could be anyone. You have to kill someone in order to keep the god happy. The sun god required a death every day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was it always people, or
So,
was it
when
like
we talk about human sacrifices, another term that you're probably going to see on the AP exam is known as ritual bloodletting. Now, when I think bloodletting, I think I cut myself, bleed into a bowl, and then drink my blood. Because, like, there's people who do that. I am not one of them, so don't get weird with me. But some people do that. So please be aware that human sacrifice is ritual bloodletting. Now, you do need to know that the Aztecs are all about human sacrifice. They're all about killing people. Every single day they kill someone. When the Spanish really start kicking up and really start killing a lot of really start killing a lot of Aztecs, the Aztecs in one day killed 5,000 people in sacrifice to H-God because they thought the reason why the Spanish were there was because the H-God was mad at them. So they decided to kill 5,000 people. What do you got, Avery?
That's what I always think of.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk about human sacrifice, he's like, I want to stay here, and they all just want to. Like, that's the point.
We're going to move on here.
Sorry.
Okay, so how do they do it? In the center of T City, where the island is, they built this massive pyramid. I think you do study it in Run, actually. You already did? Okay. Oh, okay, perfect. So at the center, at the top of it, they have like a little stone table instance. So you walk up all the way up the stairs as the victim of human sacrifice. They hold you down in like 2 minutes. Between a minute and a half and 2 minutes, they're going to cut your heart out, put it on the table, flip you over, and pull back your head, cut your throat so the blood spews down what is a slide. So it helps grease the slide. So when they put your body down, you just go shooting down to the bottom and you start building a pile. Now, as good old Aztec civilians like we are, we would be like, oh cool, they did the human sacrifice. H-God's gonna be happy today. And then you go up to the dead body and you're like, you put the blood on your face. You know how when you go to a Catholic church, you dip your hands if you're Catholic and you bless yourself? Same thing. Help you. What?
How do they like choose who, like?
North America! Right, North America over your head. How do they choose? It's typically slaves, typically people they capture in war. Oh, and there's a Mexican ball game that you should be aware of. I hate it so much.
Oh yeah, we learned about this last time we did.
I hate them. I don't care about them. Just be aware. All right. So people of North America. Now, I don't want to just blow past them. So we're going to write down a couple of things about them just to have them recognized. Can we agree? You need to understand that in North America, there's like they estimate between 450 to 900 different tribes running around what we would call the continental U.S. However, why don't we know anything about them, really? Why, Avery? Okay, that is not 100% true, but you're not wrong either. Payne.
No written records?
There's no written records. They don't have a writing system. Also, disease is going to spread faster than the colonists, so a lot of them are going to die before the colonists even get there. So when when white people finally show up, they're going to be like, oh my God, this land is empty. No, everyone's just dead because of the diseases are going to spread faster than the people do. Second thing, then what's going to happen, Avery? The colonists are just going to kill the rest of them. Okay? So, the Pueblo and the Navajo, I want you to write down. They're in Southwest America. Okay? They eat mostly maize. And they live in stone structures. I just don't want you to not care about our Native Americans. Can we agree? So, they're not on your test tomorrow. There's one question about them, and I will happily tell you the answer to. But I just want you to be aware that they are there, and they are thriving. They're doing well. They just don't have a writing system. Okay, so you do need to know the Iroquois people. Okay, they're going to be settled to the woodlands of Mississippi, and you need to write down all 5 of them. This is your test question tomorrow. I think it's question number 24. Iroquois nations. Iroquois people, they come up with 5 Iroquois nations here in the United States. and they are right here. You need to write them down. That's like question number 24 in your test tomorrow. Which of the 5
What's
is
the
correct?
symbol of the next to like middle?
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Doesn't it look like a K?
Come out.
I thought it was an and symbol.
Yeah. You people. I gave you candy. Teaching you.
Wait, so
Slowly
we have
in
to
the
know
process.
all these?
Yes.
Question which one is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I'm giving you the answer. And I do want you to be aware that there are people in North America. And I don't want you to think like the colonists that no one exists in North America, because that's not true, because they all died because of disease beforehand.
Do we know what disease?
Yeah, it's all the white people diseases they brought over. Like smallpox. Smallpox is going to be the biggest killer.
How do we know so much about
Because we have artifacts. They left stuff behind. They all died of disease. And then we have some people who, very few natives had the antibodies to fight off the diseases, so they existed. And so by the time, then white people would just force them to go to school and learn white people ways, but then they would write down some of their own history.
Put them into
Yeah, and to help the white people survive, and then the next year they killed them all. Yeah, they were nice to the natives when they needed help. And then they killed them all the next year. Hence why there's no Thanksgiving round 2. Because they're all dead. Okay. Alright, to the boards, let's go. I'm sorry to crush your beliefs about Thanksgiving, girl. Like, all of them are dead the next year. I love Thanksgiving, but the holiday is a sham.
Oh my god.
Here we go, on your whiteboard. Please tell me, what is the name of the sun god of the Aztecs who requires bloodletting? No, you cannot write H god. You got to write it out because I want you to be able to recognize it. Does that make sense? If you just write H god, you're never going to write it down. You're never going to write it down. Do the best you can. What is it? Vendela. That's cheap. I want you to say it. You still have Incans, and I haven't got to Incans, and you need them, so we gotta go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of. Please tell me what is. How did the Mexicas gain power and gain alliances? How did the Mexica get alliances? Good. Good. I got 2. Women's steaks?
I can't spell. Sorry. No, it's trying to say
Steals. Okay. It looks like steaks, like you're cooking them up. Garrett.
Marriage alliance.
Marriage alliances. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what's a fancy term for human sacrifice? Good. What is it? Noemi. Bloodletting. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is, what would happen to women who would die in childbirth? What do they receive? Good. They receive that? Like a gift with a bow on top? Logan, what happens? There you go. They didn't get a warrior like with a bow on their front door?
Yeah.
When you say like warriors, they get a
Like
warrior.
big car boats.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I got to make sure I got Incans before you guys go. All right, here we go. Oh, you do need to know that the Aztecs have no standing army. Add that to your notes. The Aztecs have no standing army. What is a standing army? Who can tell me what that is? What's a standing army? Okay. Yeah, they don't have an army ready for fighting. So say, for instance, God forbid, someone attacked us here in the United States right now. Do we have people in the military ready to go and defend us?
Yeah.
For sure. We call them active duty. Okay, so they live on base, they live on site, they live on the ship, wherever that, whatever branch they're in, and whenever we need them, they're immediately in action, correct? We call it active duty. It's actually a standing army.
Wait, then what about the National Guard?
Those have to be mobilized. The National Guard aren't standing around right now. They're waiting. They're at home doing their other jobs, and then when the president calls on them, then or the governor calls on them, they show up. All right. Here we go. Incans. Okay, so you need to know that the Incans are based off the Chavin and the Mochi. Now you already know these people because I've already taught you these people. The Chavin are famous for what? Macy.
The big heads.
No, that's Olmecs.
Oh.
Katie.
Worshipping corn. Worshipping
Yeah.
corn. They got a cult.
So, they're going to be based on them. Okay? Now, the Incans are located in the Andes Mountains of South America. Okay? They are going to conquer and have one of the largest empires in the world. Now, are they as big as the Mongols? No, you weirdos. However, the square mileage of the Incans is going to be larger than Europe. Okay? So, you do need to know that ruler Pachacutui, sure, okay, is going to expand the territory, and that's all you need to know about him. He's the guy who adds those to the territory. Yes. Okay, so they have the largest. You just need to know ruler Pachacutui is going to be the guy who conquers most of it. Okay? What's the matter? Okay.
He was asking where the Andes were, and you like passed through a map. So I was gonna show him.
Andes Mountains are right here. They're along the coast. We
Yeah.
call it Chile Day. Okay, so they're in South America. So, you need to know that a quipu is a system of cords and knots to keep track of numbers. Because what don't the Incans have? Writing system. Why do we know so much about the Incans? Who can raise your hand and tell me? It's the same reason why we know so much about the Aztecs, Ben.
Because the Spanish wrote on a bunch of stuff down when they came in.
Yes, perfect. The Spanish are going to show and write some stuff down, and that's why we know so much about the Incans. Okay, so you need to know that Cusco is the capital, and just like the Forbidden City, because I'm Ren, I'm going to tie it to some art. Who lives in Cusco? If it's just like the Forbidden City, Garrett,
The emperor.
the emperor and the most important people, okay, are all going to live there. Okay, they even have gold on the buildings. Can you imagine being a Spanish person and showing up with Cusco? So, you need to know that the Incans are known for their massive public works projects. The largest public works project is the Incan road system that counts up about 10,000 miles. That's insane. Some of the Incan roads are still being used today as a major source of connection in the upper Andes Mountains. That's how successful and how effective these roads are. The only reason why the Spanish knew where they were is because of why?
Because I saw
Follow
the
Not
the road.
clearing a tree.
Well, it's not a clearing of trees. It's a road. It's stones. They walked around and they were like, "What is this? Huh? I wonder where it goes." And they just kept walking. And guess what? They'd come to a village. Then they'd murder everyone in that village. And they're like, "Oh, cool. The road continues." And then they would just follow it to the next village. And I'd be like, "Cool, another village. Rape and murder everyone there." Then, oh, the road continues. That's how they conquered the Andes. That's how they conquered the Incans. They didn't build the roads. Damn. However, if they didn't build the roads, they wouldn't have been as powerful or successful. What?
How long was the Silk Road?
The Silk Road's not a road. It's an idea. It's like a movement of people. The Incan road system is an actual road system.
Wait, then how did they
Well, they kept making sure. It's not like an actual highway. It's not like I-95 or something.
That's a road you take. That's
Yeah.
a road you take.
highway, people just like walking down it.
I think it was
That's
Yeah,
No. It's like a.
Wait,
it's
this
just-
is 10,000 miles?
Yeah. This is an actual road that they put stones.
So the Silk Road wasn't actually a road?
It's not actually a road. It's like a route.
I didn't know that.
Because when you come into a town, they charge you. Alright, here we go. You do need to know that the emperor of the Incans believe he is a descendant of the sun god. And the sun god is named E-N-T-I. You need to know the emperor declares himself the descendant of the sun god. Aztecs and Incans are separate people.
Like the Pachacutui guy.
Yeah, all rulers. All emperors believe them to be descendants of the sun god.
What is his name?
What? E-N-T-I. Okay, so you do need to be aware that they are going to create the MITA, M-I-T-A. The MITA system is when the government controls all the land, owns all the land, and forces the people to work the land. The MITA system is when the government owns all the land and forces all the people to work on the land. Inti, I-N-T-I, that's your sun god, which you already know. Incans do not do human sacrifice. They do not do human sacrifice. They are all about agriculture. That's their big focus. Okay, and there you go. Now, just so you're aware, you don't have to write anything down because it's not on your test, but I want you to be aware of Oceania. I never talk about Oceania, but we're going to do a little here right now. So, Oceania, you do need to know that people are starting to show up in Australia. They're like 1 off, 2 off, 3 off. Like, not a ton of people are showing up. In New Guinea, we got pigs now. So that's exciting. Okay. We're also starting to see that there are beginnings to be a little bit of surplus. We got pearl shells. So that's exciting. So we're going to see a little bit of trade kicking up. Now, we are going to see that there is going to be a boom of trade because of fishing innovations. Not boom of trade, a boom of population because of fishing innovations. However, what we're going to see is because of population increases, because of more food, we're going to see that the islands cannot substantiate all these new populations. So now we have cannibalism. And what is cannibalism? When you eat humans. Yeah, so they get desperate. So because they had too big of a population, they can't feed them, so they start eating the population. Someone asked me, like, who do you eat? I don't know. Maybe. Or it could be people they capture in battle, or it could be a young kid, fresh meat. Could be an old dude. I'm not really sure. You could probably Google it. Huh? Old meat. Huh? Yeah. So we're starting to see Polynesia is coming. Okay, that's Moana's people. Moana's people are starting to spread out. Alright, here we go on your whiteboard. Please tell me who has the most influence over the emperor in the Aztec civilization? Who has the most impact over the emperor in the Aztec situation? Vendela. On your whiteboard, what is the government labor system of the Incas called? Garrett. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the knot counter of the Incans? What counts all the knots? What's a knot count? Kellen, you better take that earbud out there, Aiden. Kellen? On your whiteboard, please tell me what is most of your slaves for the Aztec were from where? Good. Claire. They're locals. On your whiteboard, please tell me Aztec or Incan, which one did not have a standing army? Good. Jesse. Aztecs. On your whiteboard, please tell me who owned all of the government for the Incas? Oh, who owned all the land? Logan. The government, damn it. Give me all 5 Iroquois nations. I just want you to know that there are people living in North America and they are thriving and they are important. I really, 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 really don't want you to think when the white people show up, there's nothing happening in North America. Because that is not the case. Good. What is it, Bella? Onida. Perfect. You did great. On your whiteboard, please tell me. Oh, are the Mongols centralized or decentralized government? Good. What is it, Alex? Decentralized. Goodbye.
Yeah, they were beef.
Yeah, they were trading.